Welcome back to First Chapter Friday. This Friday we are reading Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Everyone my age remembers where they were and what they were doing when they first heard about the contest. I was sitting in my hideout watching cartoons when the news bulletin broke in on my radio feed announcing that James Holiday had died during the night. I heard of a Holiday, of course. Everyone had. He was the video game designer responsible for creating the Oasis, the massively multiplayer online game that gradually evolved into the globally networked virtual reality most of humanity now used on a daily basis. The unprecedented success of the Oasis had made Holiday one of the wealthiest people in the world. At first, I couldn't understand why the media was making such a big deal of a billionaire's death. After all, the people of planet Earth had other concerns. The ongoing energy crisis, catastrophic climate change, widespread famine, poverty, and disease, half a dozen wars, dog and cats living together, mass hysteria. Normally, the news feeds didn't interrupt everyone's interactive sitcoms and soap operas unless something really major had happened, like the outbreak of some new killer virus or another major city vanishing in a mushroom cloud, big stuff like that. As famous as he was, Holiday's death should have warranted only a brief segment of the evening news, so the unwashed masses could shake their heads in envy when the newscasters announced the obscenely large amount of money that would be doled out to the rich man's heirs. But that was the rub. James Holiday had no heirs. He died a 67-year-old bachelor with no living relatives and by most accounts without a single friend. He had spent the last 15 years of his life in a self-imposed isolation, during which time, if the rumors are to be believed to be true, he'd gone completely insane. So the real jaw-dropping news that January morning, the news that had everyone from Toronto to Tokyo clapping in their cornflakes, concerned the contents of Holiday's last will and testament and the fate of his vast fortune. Holiday had prepared a short video message along with the instructions that would be released to the world media at the time of his death. He'd also arranged to have a copy of the video emailed to every single Oasis user that same morning. I still remember hearing the familiar electronic chime when it arrived in my inbox just a few seconds after I saw the first news bulletin. His video message was actually a meticulously constructed short film titled Anarch's Invitation. A famous eccentric, Holiday had harbored a lifelong obsession with the 1980s, the decade in which he had been a teenager, and the Anarch's Invitation was crammed with obscure 80s pop culture reference, nearly all of which were lost on me the first time I viewed it. The entire video was just over 5 minutes in length, and in the days and weeks that followed, it would become the most scrutinized piece of film in history, surpassing even the Zapruder film in the amount of painstaking frame-by-frame analysis devoted to it. My entire generation would come to know every second of Holiday's message by heart.